Hello world, Theet here, and in this video, I've survived 2 whole years in hardcore Minecraft from May 2020 until now. And as you can see, I've built a few halfway decent builds in that time. In this video, I'll show you some of the coolest stats from this world. Let's jump right into the general stats. I've opened about 12,000 barrels, mostly from my nether hub and the Ender Acres storage. Even though chests are more expensive, I've looked into them far more, about 105,000 times, because my chest monsters are filled with them. Duh. I'm always opening and closing them, searching for that one random stack of blocks that I need. There are many damage stats, but the main one is damage taken, which for me is 40,000. So basically the equivalent of getting punched by a warden for 15 minutes straight. I've blocked 11,000 damage with the shield, which is odd as I don't generally use shields, but I must be able to charge creepers I've killed for mob heads. The 301 damage absorbed and the 7200 damage resisted are from falling off stuff after eating gapples and being near a resistance beacon, respectively. I once gave a totem to a zombie and then killed it, which is why I've dealt 8 absorbed damage. And now we move on to the distance stats, which are even crazier. In ascending order, I've rated in 0 centimeters on the pig, because they're useless, 1.57 kilometers on the mining cart, 32.71 kilometers on the strider, because they're kind of useful for doing stuff in lava without fire resistance, not that that's a big problem in my nether anymore, and 41.73 kilometers on horseback, mostly carting skeleton horses around because horses are also pretty useless. I've covered about 330 kilometers by boat because ice boat highways are pot, 1,400 kilometers walking and swimming in water, which is for some reason 3 separate stats. I've sneaked 280 kilometers, walked 4,000 kilometers, and sprinted 2,800 kilometers because foot travel is the easiest method of Minecraft transport, citation needed. But more than all of these combined is my Elytra travel stat, 12,000 kilometers. If you laid out all my Elytra travels end to end, they'd reach almost halfway to the world border. Not sure if that's a testament to how far I've traveled, how vast the Minecraft world is, or if I'm just an insignificant speck who's accomplished nothing and seen nothing in this world. Either way, Elytras are pot. As for interactions with workstations, I think it's no surprise to anyone who's actually played the game that the crafting table, furnace, and stonecutter are the top 3 with 15,000, 11,000, and 2,200 uses respectively. Other honorable mentions include 779 uses of the brewing stand and expensive stuff like 226 beacon uses and 165 anvil uses. I've jumped 1.2 million times. I have no idea if that's a lot or a little, so I'll just leave it at that. I've killed 119,000 mobs, which is pretty low, but maybe that's just because I don't AFK at farms all day with an auto clicker. Not naming any names, okay. The number of player kills is 0, which is average for an active single player hardcore world. I don't aspire to be above average in this particular statistic. Maybe if someone joins my world, I'll kill them before they can backstab me with an end crystal or something. I've triggered 58 raids and 152, but I don't really do raids anymore unless I need raid mobs for a project like my Ravager Pit and Void Station. I have a lifetime supply of totems already. Moving right along, I've opened 88,000 shulker boxes, which is not as many as the number of chests, probably because shulker boxes are a tad more expensive, but they do appear frequently in my chest monsters, and I even have a shulker box in Ender Acres. My time played stat is 17 days, but my time since last death is 89 days, which is the important one. That's actually because my stats got messed up when I reverted back to 21W03A to get water in the nether, along with other things. I've spent 7 of those days sneaking, literally a week of holding down shift. No wonder my keyboard is falling apart. I've slept in a bed 3,432 times, which is 43% of nights, but it's been a lot less for the past 2,500 days since my recent projects have all been in the nether and end, where sleeping is bad for you. As for my last stat, I've traded with villagers 678,000 times. I use it for my XP source, okay? And I like the XP sound, and I like buying quartz, and I like emerald blocks. This right here is the list of blocks that I mined the most. I've probably mined 1.8 to 2 million blocks so far. I'm too lazy to count exactly. Unsurprisingly, the top 5 are mostly terrain blocks that I get from terraforming and excavating terrain with 99,000 to 406,000 each. Though the gravel's mined because I kept placing it down to drain the lava ocean at nether spawn. And endstone, 89,000, was actually mostly for the giant wall around Ender Acres. In 7th we have spruce logs at 62,000, probably due to trading with Fletchers in ancient times, i.e. 2020, and clearing out land for the spawn chunk castle. Then in 8th we have 56,000 nether wart blocks because I cleared them out while farming crimson wood for Void Station. Seriously, this build uses a ridiculous amount of crimson wood. In 9th we have ice at 35,000. I have an ice farm that I mostly use for ice boat highways and as a stackable water source, and it barely works in 1.18, or maybe I've just lost my patience so I barely use it anymore. Then we have 33,000 sand, no idea why, and 33,000 blackstone. This stat was already pretty high a year ago, and the 6,000 since then have mostly been due to terraforming the bottom of the Nether Ocean. Rounding out the top 10, we have 32,000 vines, decoration, like in every build, 29,000 obsidian, destroying the end pillars, 25,000 basalt, terraforming the Nether Ocean, 23,000 scaffolding, random building, 22,000 snow, random decoration, 18,000 diorite, mining, I don't really know, 18,000 nether bricks, which was mostly eons ago when I built the nether hub, and it's gone way down in the rankings since last year and is now barely in the top 20. I also feel like deep slate should be on this in the top 20, but it's not because my stats got messed up when I got water in the nether, so yeah. The crafting stats aren't as interesting as my mining stats, but I thought 670,000 emeralds, 305,000 bone meal, 125,000 glass, and 91,000 quartz were interesting flexes. Pro tip, don't bother making glass and quartz, just buy it from villagers, they'll thank me later. I filled 25,000 magma cubes, more than any other mob, because they're absolutely everywhere while draining the lava ocean and also constantly split into more. Oh, they're still everywhere, even though it's all water now. In second place, we have 23,000 endermen because A, I practically live in the end, and B, I once built an enderman farm, which I now barely use because void trading is a more fun source of XP. And in third, there are 22,000 wither skeletons because the wither skeleton farm is super pot. They're my favorite farm since they produce 3 types of resources: bone meal, fuel, and beacons. I think zombie pigmen are a very distant place in fourth at 10k. I mostly leave them alone these days because I don't do much gold farming. Also, a distant fifth are slimes at 3663. I barely see these guys anymore because I spend so little time in the overworld, and also my slime farm broke in 1.18. Then in sixth are 3492 zombies because they're everywhere. Seventh is blazes with 3008 kills, not because I love potions, but because I love end rods, and yes, you can make those. Eighth is pillagers with 2408 kills, followed very closely by 2397 skeletons. Ghasts are 10th with 2009 kills because they are pyromaniac and hate my builds. Honorable mentions include 321 withers, which I literally always cheese, 21 ender dragons, which will never increase again for obvious reasons, and most impressive of all, drumroll please, 3 axolotls. Without a doubt, the most terrifying boss in all of Minecraft, and I've killed it 3 times. I mean, look at those guys. They're terrifying. Alright, that about wraps it up. There you have it, my statistics after 2 whole years in hardcore Minecraft. Hopefully you guys like that, because this world is the only good thing to come out of the past 2 years for me. Here's to another year of building crazy shit and bumping up these stats even further. Except for the death count, let's keep that at 0, please and thank you. Speaking of which, here's your annual reminder that the like and subscribe buttons do exist and can be clicked to make good things happen. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.